Welcome to the Uncle's Channel. Thanks for watching today. It looks like the creators of Shredder's Revenge are wanting to give us a little bit of a early Christmas present here, because they actually did a free update on the game. It gives us all kinds of new game options, like different filters, all kinds of stuff in the game, as well as fixing some of the glitches and whatnot as well. Now, it's not a full DLC like I know a lot of us were hoping for, but still, it's like some pretty awesome features that I never thought they'd put into the game. Well, let's dive into all the new features in the game. So first off, let's check out the new filters. So if we go to options here, and we go all the way down here, and we get down to display filter, you can do what's called CRT, which is like the old school televisions. Looks pretty similar to it, maybe a little bit darker than some of them, but pretty close. You can get CRT curve, because a lot of those old CRT TVs, they did have a curve to them. I know all the ones growing up that we had a curve to it, and so it gets a little bit of the curve angle to it. And you also have what's called VCR option, which I absolutely adore on here. And you can see it looks like you're playing an old VCR tape. And I really like that option a lot. I mean, you can get like little scan lines that come down. It's pretty legit. So we're going to leave that one on. But if you go to arcade mode, that's where all the new features are going to come into play. And you can go down to what's called custom game. And here they have what's called a virtual DIP board. Because a lot of the old arcade machines, like owners of the machine could actually go back to the circuit board, flip switches on the board, and it would actually allow them to make the game easier, harder, how many coins it would take to actually play the game. You know, stuff as that. Basically ways for them to make some more money off of it. Or if they want to have like contests or tournaments, they can mess up to the DIP board as well. And so here are all the different DIP options that they're allowing us to put into play here for the arcade mode. You can do free play, so you can play without any game overs, which is really beneficial for players who might not be very good at the game. They can go through it and just simply see the entire game all the way through. Sort of like how like an old Game Genie would work on the NES. Radical Ninja, use Radical mode and up to 3 ninja power bars. Very good. Doppelganger, multiple players can choose the same character. Hey, I know that comes in handy a lot because, I mean, there's some disagreements on who gets which turtle, who gets which fighter. Focused Fighter, retain your ninja power bar when you take damage, so you get to concentrate. Old school super attacks now cost health instead of ninja power. Very retro, and that is something I actually don't miss on this game. And I know in the old NES or the old arcade games, when you use your power or special power, took away your health, and that got really annoying. Obviously you had to play and focus a little bit differently, but you can actually play the retro way now. Respectful Reptile, taunts cannot be used, very controlled. That's gonna be a little bit disappointing. Revive no more. Reviving KO players is now impossible. Makes the game a lot harder. Enemies now move faster, so be careful. So a lot of these are designed to make the game significantly harder. Blasting baddies. Most enemies now explode when defeated. That's a pretty cool little feature. Obviously, once again, make the game harder. Enemies now have more health. Once again, making the game harder. And aggro adversaries. Enemies attack more often, dealing more damage. Holy cow! Like, if you want like a true challenge, like this little DIP board here is guaranteed to make the game significantly harder, except for free play. So I guess you could turn all that stuff on and free play, and the game would be really hard, but you're guaranteed to beat the game. But that'd sort of defeat the purpose, I feel. But that's all the DIP options they've added into the game, and that's actually a lot of new features put into the game that's going to allow for a lot of replayability for players to want to jump back into the game for all these new challenges. I don't know if like the challenge board or the trophies are going to be updated for like the Xbox or PlayStation version. The Switch doesn't do, well, the Switch never does little trophies and whatnot. Always a disappointing feature on the Switch. But regardless, I'm sure the PlayStation and the Xbox will update with some of these new trophies to go along with these achievements here. Also, for new features outside just the DIP board, they actually add in where for online play, the host can set how many players they want inside the match. And so you don't have to worry about, having too many players when you didn't really want them in there, if you don't want to set up like a private game or anything like that. I don't really see it as like a huge feature, but it is something cool that they threw in here. But for the truly dedicated player wants like the nitty gritty of what they exactly changed inside the game, what they patched inside the game, I'm going to put it on the screen right here. It's going to go through all the gameplay fixes as far as like, different things get fixed as far as like when enemies get stuck at the top and bottom of the screen, or maybe like you can't revive a player for a KO. They also changed like a few boss animations or enemy animations, or different effects as far as like how many times they did certain moves in a battle, because I felt like it might have been a little bit unfair against the player. And so they just a little bit of, a few tweaks here and there. Nothing that the average player is probably going to notice, but the true dedicated players of Shredder's Revenge, when you log back into the game and you're playing through it, you're probably going to be like, hey, I used to be able to exploit this one area, and now I can't seem to do that anymore. And that's because it's been fixed inside of this patch. Or you'll be playing through and be like, this area is way easier than it ever was. And once again, it's probably because they just sort of messed with it a little bit inside the patch here, trying to make the overall gaming experience of the game, best for all players. But for the vast majority of us, we're logging in for the new filters, the CRT filters, the VCR feature, which is probably my favorite feature on the game, and also for that DIP board to actually give us a new challenge inside the game. Because at this point, most of the players who are still playing the game are really good at the game, and they want these new challenges to sort of push them to their limits. And like I said, I think the Xbox and the PlayStation one will probably have new trophies to go along with it, but I don't know that for sure. That's just simply my guess on that. I only have the Switch version, so I can't log in and check it out. But are you guys excited to load up Shredder's Revenge again and give it another playthrough of all these new options? Is this enough motivation to get you back into the game, or are you still holding out for the DLC when it's almost certainly going to drop? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos listed up above, and as always, go out there, find a great game to play. Just simply have a great rest of the day.